All right, guys, welcome to Full Throttle Chronicles. I got my boy Jared here. I've talked about Jared multiple times on multiple videos and on the podcast. I'm really excited to have him here. He's a busy guy. If you're in the Fort Wayne area, I'm sure you know him. If you're a business owner, if you are a veteran, if you are anyone of Fort Wayne,
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, unfortunately.
oh, you kill it, dude. And I thank you for coming on my little podcast.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call it little. I think you have an amazing setup, and I've been waiting patiently for you to ask.
So Jared is the
I'm the founder and executive director.
executive director. Not according to Wayne 15.
Yeah, well, that's wild, wild stuff. But hey, I like that though, because that means when is there cussing on here?
Yeah.
That means when shit goes south, I can blame you because it's official now.
You'll pull it
So
up on the
I don't have to.
finder on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't have to deal with the headaches.
So if you guys don't know what FW22 is, it's a nonprofit based out of Fort Wayne to support TBI, mental health, and
When you lose the fight to mental health.
But what started FW22? Kind of give us the backstory on it because it's a big thing and it's something that's really important.
Tyler and I both got out of the Marine Corps on the same time. He got out about 7 months earlier. Tyler's the co-founder. He's the one that started this with me. And I was actually still getting ready to become a drill instructor. I got my B-build approved. I was pumped. But I hated that I had a kid that I didn't get to see because I spent most of my time overseas. So ultimately I decided I needed to get out and come home, which I wanted to do, but still I was sad because I loved the Marines. I was a good Marine and I was getting ready to be a drill instructor. So I already had my frog voice and I was so scrawny from just running ridiculous amount. It was crazy. But I was really motivated, and so for me to come home, that was hard. And I was married at the time to a female Marine. Bad idea. But I had about 6 months in North Carolina, and I started spiraling out of control. I didn't know why. I was just struggling mentally, and I didn't know if it was from Afghanistan. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew I was drinking, fighting, very agitated. So we got divorced. I was like, take everything. I'm out of here. I'm going home. Reconnect with my kid. Reconnect with Tyler. And for like 6 months, we were just what we did before high school: partying, fighting, cleaning guns. And one day we were just having a heart-to-heart, and he never deployed, which I'm forever grateful.
Right.
I know that always haunts him, but I never wish that upon anybody. And I did deploy, but we both had buddies that had lost their battle to mental health. And we didn't even want to become a nonprofit or nothing. We just wanted to create something here where you could feel like you belong. So like if you was to take our first annual hike compared to what we are now, it's completely night and day. Like the fact that we didn't get arrested from the first year is wild. But it was really beautiful because we created a hike where you literally get shit-faced and hiked. And I mean, we had just gotten out of the military, so it was probably honestly our biggest hike ever. Really? Because we probably had closer to 400 or 500 people.
Wow, that's a lot.
But it was mostly people we served with.
That's cute.
And it was wild. We had people showing up from Missouri, California, you name it. It was weird to see a bunch of females that I thought I would never see again show up to our event, and now they're in my hometown.
Right.
But what was really beautiful is we had this guy, fat like me, heavy set. He was wearing his camis, which is wild, and he was gonna, decide to no longer live. And he saw our stupid little flyer on Facebook. And somehow he drove like 2.5 hours, came up, hiked with us, and that really struck a chord with Tyler and I because we're like, holy crap, how did we just put this event on? Our only sponsor was Showgirl 3. We just saved somebody's life. Yeah. So that's really what started getting the ball going, like, whoa, maybe we have something here.
It's awesome. So we'll dig more into the FW22 thing, but the hike. So what he's talking about, I've posted videos of it, and actually this is how I met Jared, was at the dealership on the first hike. Or not my first hike I went on. I believe that was the first time you and I...
Was it was at Harley Davidson?
It was like 2019.
That would have been either our 4th or 5th annual hike then.
It was a big one. It was a good one. And that's when I kind of, because obviously getting out of the military, especially in the Marine Corps, the brotherhood, when you get out and you don't have that, you're always looking for it. Yeah. So, and a lot of times I mean, I relate a lot of my mental health stuff to not having that structure, not having that, the camaraderie and the brotherhood that I keep talking about. But with FW22, that first hike, I remember I did it. I got shit faced. We were smoking cigars at Rudy's.
Wow.
I had my silkies on. I thought it just felt right again. Like it just felt like I was back, like with my people. So if you are listening to this and you're a veteran, I will have more information out, especially when events are coming. So besides the hike, what other events are out there? I mean, I know obviously we do a lot of events.
Like what we're doing,
Yeah.
or just military events in general?
No, FW22 events.
So we're gonna have a big year. Obviously, this is gonna be my first full year as my full-time job, which is still I'm getting used to. But yeah, we're gonna do your little motorcycle event, which
It's not little, it's gonna be bigger.
it's well, yes, but it's the second annual, which I think
say that
I
this
was
year.
gonna say now you can say annual, which I'm excited because we have a meeting you and I do here in a week or so to discuss my expectations for it.
Yep.
But I'm excited. It'll be the 11th annual 22K hike this year. We're gonna have the 5th or 6th annual bowling event.
Yeah.
We're gonna have our first ever golf outing. That's our golf outing. We're gonna have our first ever 3K, 5K, and half marathon, which is wild. And we're gonna have our first ever national speaker come into town to talk about mental health, military triumphs, succession, succeeding in life, just all that good stuff. And then on top of that, I go to different military bases, the active duty, and I do my mental health, which you missed, by the way, but
Yeah,
I do my
I
mental
did.
health training, and it's really cool how we do it because it's, in my opinion, no one else is doing it in the country. You know, when I first started doing this, I would just say, how many people don't want to live anymore? Raise your hand. No one's gonna raise their hand yet. They're chain of command, like, and now with social media and these kids and their phones, everything we do, you're anonymous. So when you register, when we get there, and it's all 100% anonymous, and we get the live polling right then and there, which is really cool for not just us for education wise, but we get to show the leadership that, hey, I know your numbers say you're war ready, but this many people here are struggling mentally or financially or with anxiety or substance abuse or you know, sexual assault, whatever it may be. And so we're really giving them an in-depth look about their own unit that they just couldn't get any other way.
Sure.
So we have 11 units we're going to do.
Awesome.
I'm really trying to make it happen in June this year. There's 6 different battalions within the 293rd, but in June they meet as a regiment, so about 1,400 troops down at Camp Atterbury. So I'm trying to do that there, a one-stop shop in front of everybody, just because I do think the numbers are going to be alarming.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it's important because, and I don't want to soften the military by any means. I think if you're in a unit that deploys, you need to be war hardened and ready. But you can't truly be ready unless you're truly being honest with yourself and transparent with yourself. And if you're struggling, you need to get the help. And again, you know, it's okay to not be okay, even if you are in the military. But what's not okay is avoiding it, because eventually it's going to attack, and it's going to be at the least expected moment. And you're not going to have time for it, but if you just address it every day, you don't have to worry about it hitting you hard. So it's going to be a big year for us. I'm really excited, especially with our partnerships at Remedy Live and Allendale. So it's going to be I'm definitely going to have a gray beard by the end of 25.
I'll be here to help you out.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it.
So I actually just, if you guys Remedy Live, I actually just got to go in there today and check out their studio. And FW22 has a podcast too. Now we're talking like high quality production. Like I walked into the studio and my mouth started drooling and I was hiding it, but I was like, maybe they won't notice if I walk out with this camera.
Yeah, no, and that's why I wanted you to obviously I need to get you on our podcast, on your podcast, because you are FW22 as well, but I wanted you to come out there because I don't know what, just like motorcycles, I don't know what any of that means. I know they have 2 wheels and they go fast, but I don't know what any of that technology is. I don't know, but I knew you would, and so I was like, oh, maybe he'll appreciate this and get a tour of it. And
awesome. Mental health. Now it's something that, you know, I do talk motorcycles, but my main thing that keeps me wanting to keep doing social media is for the fact of, you know, at the dealership having people come in and give me a hug and tell me that I saved their life just from a video they saw me, like saying it's okay not to be okay.
That's an amazing feeling.
That's a great feeling. Like, And it's something I never expected to be involved in, because I was that guy who said I was fine, but I wasn't. And like, I mean, it took me to hit rock bottom to my wife pulling a literal gun out of my hand, like bad, to realize that life is worth it. Like, there's so much out there, and the people like Jared that come into your life that help you. And you know, if you are struggling with mental health and you're listening to this, reach out, FW22.org. You've got our Facebook page. I'll have everything linked below too in the description if you're on YouTube. And yeah, I'm excited for FW22.
Me too. I'm excited. Oh, I'm still not excited by the pay cut. It was quite the transition to leave my very comfortable job. But this has always been my passion. And before, it's like, how do you raise a kid full time and work full time and then put 40 hours into a nonprofit? It was hard. But I mean, we really crushed it. But mentally, it took a huge toll on me. And so when I did step away to go just pass the torch on, I loved it. I had zero regrets. I didn't look back, but I missed it. And the one thing that did upset me is people just be like, "What happened to you guys? Where are you?" Yeah. And that, that's partly my fault, because in a way I am FW22. I didn't do a good enough job at, like even Tyler. I always say Tyler and I are the perfect marriage. He's more reserved and logical. I'm more blunt and passionate. And so like he talks sense into me, and then I bring excitement into him. And so when I had left, it basically just was all his responsibility. But he wasn't the guy that's going out there networking and speaking. He was the guy that was looking at our budget, figuring out finances, which is a huge piece. But nobody was able to fill those shoes. And it almost came to the point where Tyler was like, "We're going to dissolve." And I was like, "Great. Like, I don't care." Right. But in my opinion, there's not a veteran nonprofit anywhere in our state that does it how we do it. I mean, we are so hands-on, and I'm not just going to give you a piece of paper and tell you to call a number. I'm going to do it with you. And so coming back was huge. This whole year is going to be wild. I mean, I was just at the hospital at the freaking VA on Monday or Tuesday with an active duty service member. It was like 45 or 46, and he was there for his drinking and his not wanting to be here anymore. And I speak hard truths. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to tell you how it is, and I won't get too much into his case, but what was unique is he was telling me about his grandpa had passed away from that, and how it affected his father. And then when he was in high school, his friend did that over a woman, and he talked about how like it forever affected him. And it's kind of selfish of me to use this, but I said, "But you told me you had a kid. Why would you want to do that to your kid? Yeah. If you don't want to do it for you, move on and live life great for your kid." Yeah. Because the hard reality is, anyone that's struggling can always reach out to me. I will talk to them about facts, statistics, and just heart to heart. But you think that's going to end your problems, but I can promise you, if you have kids, you just ruin them for life. If you have a significant other, you ruin them for life. Your parents, your siblings, destroyed for life. They will never forget that, and their whole life will forever be changed. And I just, I've had my dark days. Maybe not to the point where gun in hand, but just drinking and not caring if I lived or didn't live. But how selfish of that and I just using my kid as an example, but how selfish of it was me, that I chose to get out of the Marine Corps to become the best father I can. And yet, instead of handling my own struggles, I just want to just say, screw it. I don't want to put in the work and just not be here. What's that going to do to her? Yeah. Her whole life is, I mean, I'm not saying she won't have a great life and be successful, but she's always going to know that her dad chose to go out that way, and her dad's gone. Gave up. I could never do that. And I know mental health's hard, and I know asking for help's hard. And I know because of mental health, you get into some situations where you think there's no way out, whether you're going through a divorce, whether you're going bankrupt, you're losing your job, the crippling pain from anxiety and panic attacks. Like, I get it, but I can assure you there's a solution, and you don't have to do it alone. A lot of those times when you do go get help, you're still doing it alone. They're going to send you back home. It's up to you. We will do it with you. Yeah. And so I just, I was talking to him for like 5 hours, and they always do the same. They always thank me because I tell them that no, I tell them stuff that a psychologist isn't gonna tell you, you
Yeah.
know.
The
But
truth.
but that is, yeah, it's the truth. That's the reality. And I'm not your doctor. I'm your brother in arms, right? So I'm not here to sugarcoat it. I'm here to tell you, like, wake up. This is if we could do statistics and everybody that did go out that way, bring them back to answer one question, I'm pretty sure 99% would say they wish they didn't.
Yeah.
Because every unsuccessful attempt that I've talked to, every one of them regrets it. But the worst part is, what happens to you? Are you physically? Are you mutilated now from the gunshot wound? Did you take a bunch of pills and you lost the oxygen to the brain for so long? Now your motor skills are slow. Like you think your problems are bad now. If you survive your attempt, you're gonna have some serious problems.
Yeah.
So instead, why don't you just swallow your pride, be transparent, ask for help, and let us prove that we can and will help you, and that it will get better. It's not gonna be easy. That's such a beautiful thing, that knowing that you put in that work to look back in your life and be like, yeah, I did that.
Sure.
So yeah, it's mental health's wild though.
It opens up a whole nother mindset for yourself too. So just speaking on what I was going through and how I was in a bad spot, I reached out to the VA, and this was before I think I even really got connected with you guys. And they got me into therapy, and therapy is one of those things that I said I'll never do. I was that guy that used to say depression, whatever, that's not real. You're just being a pussy. No.
I think being a pussy is not going to therapy.
It is. No, it is. You're not manning up to the reality of what's actually happening. You're just trying to be a say word bitch and back away from it all, and just to let things happen in front of you like emotion, but it's not worth it. Like it taught me confidence, and it taught me the reasoning why I'm here. Like it made me drive to do what I'm doing now. Like it gave me a reason to want to help the next person.
Mm.
So
That's a great feeling. That's an addictive feeling.
yeah.
So and I tell everybody too, like, so I wear this watch. It's the Apple Watch. I don't use it for anything other than to monitor my exercise, my heartbeat, remind me to meditate. I journal. I go to therapy, and I do all that because the world I live in is dark.
Sure.
It's
Well, I'm sure.
helping these people. It kind of makes you wonder, like, where's the happiness in life when I'm always around the sad stuff. And so, but I know I chose that life. But if I don't talk to somebody and I don't get help, it takes its toll on me. So I do therapy. I journal, which my daughter used to give me crap for, because I used to give her crap for doing it. I'm like, that's weird. But I journal, I meditate, I walk. If I'm struggling, I ask for help. I'm very transparent and emotional with myself and my friends. So if I'm struggling, I'll tell you. And there's nothing lame about that. It makes me more of a man than ever before. And so that's why I always push it. And vets, they're so stubborn, but I'm telling you right now, even if you're not a vet, or if, I will use men, because I can't speak on behalf of a woman because I am not one. But men, we just think we're supposed to be inferior and tough and we can't ask for help. But the strongest men I know communicate with their wife. They ask for help when they need it, and they don't have to do things alone. And if you can't do that, then maybe you need to change your environment. Maybe that isn't your forever love, the forever love of your life, or those aren't your friends. Because anybody in my life, if I need to talk to, they're going to listen. They're not going to be like, whoa, dude. So change your environment. I tell that all the time.
Change your environment. Surround yourself with people you want to be.
Yeah, everybody in my circle pushes me to become the best version of myself. They hold me accountable. If I'm doing stuff that I shouldn't, they let me know. And if I need to confide in them because I'm struggling mentally, they'll make time, and they'll walk me through it. And I couldn't ask for a better circle.
Yeah. No, I mean, everybody needs that, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't have that, or don't even. Well, I guess they don't realize they have that because they're not opening up about it.
Well, sometimes you got to cut off family or childhood friends, whatever it may be. And again, I love my family, but I'm not close with all of my family. That's my decision because I have to do what's best for me.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I encourage everybody. And if you don't have a circle, you got FW22, you got Ride or Rot. So
yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited for this year. It's gonna be a big year.
I'm not excited. I mean, I'm excited, but I am. I'm gonna be so busy. I'm gonna sleep for like 3 months. It's gonna be a good year though. We really are gonna stand out big time this year and be the standard here in the state.
Yeah. I was in Okinawa, Japan, and you were in Okinawa, Japan, like the same time.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like
I was there from like 10 to 13 or something like that.
I was there in 09 to 11, 13, or
Yeah,
no,
so
12.
I graduated boot camp. I went to boot camp in 09, December,
Okay.
and graduated in March. Went to Missouri and then Okinawa.
Yep.
And then, were you there when that earthquake happened?
What year was that? Oh, tsunami?
Yeah.
Tomodachi? I was in Tomodachi.
Okay, so
yeah.
then, and that pushed my orders for even longer. Then I deployed out of there. That pushed my orders. And what's crazy is I was actually sad when I was told I have to leave now.
Yeah.
Because I'd spent 3 years there, and they're like, if you would have gotten here 5 days sooner, you would have done all 4.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like I wish I stayed because I would have never met my female Marine wife. I wouldn't have gotten a car at 27% interest rate.
I've been there.
All that stuff that wouldn't have happened had I stayed in Japan. So.
But look where you are now.
Yeah, well, now I'm out. So it's great.
No, I miss Oki, man.
I miss Japan. I don't know if I took my daughter, if I took my family, I don't know if I'd go to Okinawa.
Yeah.
Because it's America.
It is.
I'm gonna see a bunch of high-end tights.
Yeah.
And cowboy boots.
Yeah.
So I think the culture in Japan is beautiful. It's peaceful.
It's awesome.
I don't miss how much it rains. I don't miss randomly having to go to Korea because Kim Jong-un lost his mind again.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
But I miss daisies, being
Daisies on the
hungover and.
They closed.
Really? Mm-hmm. See, that's what's wrong with America now.
Nashville's is closed.
See, that's crazy. I got a tattoo in a tattoo shop inside of Nashville's.
I almost did, but I didn't.
So I did. It's on my butt cheeks.
It's on your butt cheeks.
Yeah. So it was wild. Tyler was there when we were there.
Was he?
Yeah, he came in. He ended up visiting me, and which is wild to see your childhood friend in Japan. But that guy is. You have a story too?
Yeah.
I won't say too much because Tyler is like a private person, but that guy almost. I mean, I guess technically I caused an international incident when I ran over that person.
I remember when this happened.
Yeah, that was me. But Tyler was like, he skipped bases. He started destroying duty logbooks, hopping in and out of bases past hours. They were all looking for him. He was on the run.
Oh, no.
And then they never discovered who he was. I was a corporal at the time.
Yeah.
He was not. He was like a PFC, I think. So I'm like, I'm going to ruin my whole career for my best friend. And when it was all said and done, he called me when he was back in Hawaii, and I said, dude, just don't ever visit me again while I'm in.
Yeah.
Like, you were wild.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to be, no, you would, that's what cracks me up is people are always like, you guys are polar opposites. In the Marine Corps, I was Tyler, and Tyler was me.
Sure.
Now that we're civilians, I'm the crazier one, and he's just like all mature and calm. But that dude was a psycho in the Marines.
You gotta have one of them friends.
It was him. He was literally the bad example. I'm surprised he ever made it to Lance Corporal. That guy was just nuts. It wasn't that he was a bad Marine. I think he took the Marine Corps to heart. He thought it was like World War II eras where you could just do what you want, punch your chain of command, no rules, and I was over here like, I was getting meritorious Lance, meritorious Corporal, going for Sergeant, like I was super motard. Now I'm just fat and old, and he's it's crazy.
So the story about Buddy in Japan. So my best friend Nate, which I'm sure you've met Nate. I don't know.
Where I met him at?
So he used to work at the dealership for a little bit. He did a hike with us one year. Either way, he moved to Ohio, but he's coming back. But I grew up in diapers with him in Roanoke, forever. I came home on leave from boot camp with my recruiter, went to his house, got him to join.
That's wild.
His dad was in the Marine Corps too.
Okay.
His mom didn't want him to do anything with it. She hated me. No, she didn't hate me, but she hated me that moment.
Yeah, I believe it.
But yeah, he joined, ended up losing a bunch of weight and did his thing. But so I was on the 31st MEU. I was on a ship, and this was like 2 months in, and I'm walking down one of the quarter decks, and I'm looking up in front of me. I'm like, is that Nate? Nate walked up, dude, I hadn't seen him for like 3 years.
That's crazy.
And he was walking towards me. He was like, Nick. And I was a corporal at the time. He was a lance. And my master guns or master sergeant was me. And he goes, Nick. And my, obviously, staff and CO chewed his ass for calling me name.
Dude, they put his ass at parade arrest for me.
They did too.
I was like, don't do that. That's weird.
I looked at him. I was like, could we go in the, that's my buddy from home. And he's like, oh. So we went into where nobody could see. And then we were cool. But they were just random as hell. And then he ended up coming back to Okinawa and visiting. And yeah, we went out and we had some fun.
Yeah, you guys probably spent all your money at Whisper Alley.
It wasn't? No. But I did have a Marine. I'll tell you a story about that. I had a Marine one time. It was, we're at the shop. He walks up. He's like, Corporal. I said, what? He goes, hurts when I pee. And I was like, well, what happened? He goes, man, I was at Whisper Alley, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's not a good thing to do, bud. I was like, eat your shit. We're going to medical. Guy's board punched. He had gonorrhea and something else. It's like, you dummy.
Yep. That's Corporal Kirk for you. But both times were in Missouri.
Really?
So he came. Yeah, he was in Missouri, and like, well, I met him. I live in Japan, and he went to Missouri for like a motor T license. Mm-hmm. Missed his flight because he had to stay longer because he caught something from an STD from one of the dancers. A year and a half later, goes back to Missouri for another schooling. Same thing. Yeah. Same dancer.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, bro, are you in love with her? Something. Yeah, he didn't. Dude, it was love. But we used to all make fun of him. And the best part was growing, because he was like he was like 5'4".
Yeah.
Craziest son of a gun ever. He should never be around children or schools. And what was crazy is growing up, he played the Chucky at Chuck E. Cheese. Oh. Like he was the rat or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, if they only knew what a degenerate you are. I mean, he was a walking STD. It was gross. Ew. I wouldn't even drink water after him. I didn't trust it. He was like an STD magnet. But yeah. What is that from? Oh, the Ride for Resilient?
No. Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, this was at a hike. I got this at a hike.
Yeah, well, they were left over for the vroom vroom guys.
The vroom vroom guys.
The vroom vroom guys.
Oh shit.
That's wild. Yeah. Look at your stickers. I saw the upside down pineapple. I'm like, uh-oh, we got some freaks here.
No, not us.
I'm just saying, well, the pineapple's upside down.
I don't know who put that on.
You put the sticker on it.
No, it wasn't me.
You chose upside. Okay, well then your wife did. Somebody. I'm just saying. When I leave here, I'm gonna look at the neighbors to see who also has an upside down pineapple.
No one around. Trust me.
Call me a detective. I'm gonna figure this out. Now I know why you went on that cruise ship.
No, it wasn't that. That wasn't one of those.
They all are those cruise ships. You just gotta find the people with the upside down pineapple trunks that I wore.
I heard that.
Not knowing.
You wore upside down pineapple and you didn't know?
It wasn't. No, I didn't know. Which is crazy because I used to be such a deviant dirtbag. Yeah. There was just pineapples all over it, and some were upside down, some were sideways. I took the kid to the Bahamas, and at nighttime I'm at the casino smoking cigarettes or cigars or something, drinking, and I kept getting these. Some of these couples are hot. These old, like 50 to 60-year-old couples, like, can I buy you a drink, young man? Yeah. I'm like, no one's called me young in forever.
Sure.
And I had no idea, and then eventually it was like, which I should have acted on it, but I was there for my kid, you know. Right. I'm not gonna do that while she's sleeping. Right. So it was wild, but
moral of the story: don't wear pineapple shorts unless you want to get hit on.
If I knew that, I would have worn them all the time in the Marines.
Oh yeah.
I would have been, because even when you're in America, it's wild. Yeah. It's way more freedom, you know. So I would have been. I would be going to nightclubs with just pineapple shorts on.
Check them out.
Yeah, trying to pick up the Wilmington, North Carolina swinger lifestyle.
Oh, down that route. Do you ever go to Psychola's?
What is that?
It was a dance club down in Naha.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know how you remember this stuff.
I honestly, dude, I'm telling you, I can't remember yesterday, but for some reason I have a core. I have a core memory of. That's, I think, a lot of my shit too, like mentally, is I need to go back there and resolve shit in my mind.
I spent years pretending I was never in.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
So I know I started doing the world's largest tug of rope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll put it up on the screen so you guys can see what, not him sharding, but.
that'd be cool. I wish I could see that. No, I was just wrecked. And it's not even that I was pulling hard. It's pointless to do, but I started. It's crazy.
Dude, that was really cool to see that, though.
That rope's huge.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I know they gave me a little slither of it, like they cut it off.
I wonder where they store that.
Dude, I don't know. That's a big rope.
That's like you put on a barge and let it set.
Yeah, I don't know. They probably put it in like Godzilla's cave because you need a big piece of land for that.
It might be out there.
Dude, yeah.
Remember banana boats remember Tropical Beach? Man, you drank too much.
I did. I was a raging alcoholic. If I wasn't, yeah.
Mary Jane's Rock Bar.
I do remember that.
I partied there a lot. And you know, yep.
Oh yeah, I think her name is Mary Jane. That older lady. Yeah, she was wild too.
I don't know how old she is now. She was cool.
Yeah, she was.
What? She was what, in her 40s then?
Yeah, she was. Well, I liked older women.
Sure.
So it worked out perfect for me. Yeah. But actually, she saved us from getting arrested one time.
Really?
Yeah, we were, I don't know, shooting fireworks off at cars or something. I don't know.
Probably.
And it's the first time I ever went to her place. And it was crazy. The Japanese police showed up, but like weren't sprinting after us. They were just blowing a whistle. So it really wasn't that hard to run away. Right. But I didn't know the island that well yet, and I ended up sleeping on her couch. And
yeah, we became friends.
Yeah, we did. Well, we're friends once. Okay, it wasn't like a repetitive thing. But I have no regrets. All of that trained me to become what we are today.
Exactly.
So.
No. You gotta live through it to know what not to do.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
Well, it's funny too. Whenever I help with that, they always like, "Oh, you wouldn't get it." I'm like, "Listen, I know all you see me is like, winning an award on TV or with the mayor or the senator." I was like, "But I promise you, before all that happened, let me tell you a little story." And then they're like, "Oh, dude, you're wild." I'm like, "See?
Sit down, little grasshopper.
Yeah, I can handle this. Let's go."
Right. Jared, thank you for coming out, dude.
Anytime.
Seriously, no, this was cool. We'll have to do it again. And maybe I'll do a separate series for like military talk. That'd be fun. Let's have vets over and just talk.
Dude, whatever you need, cool. I'll do it. Whatever I can do to assist you, and anytime you need me on here, or if you want some guests or whatever, just let me know.
Definitely. Guys, I'm going to have the information for FW22 down in the description on the video, and then I'll have some stuff floating down here on the bottom of the screen for you guys too, for some contact information. When Jared says if you need something, he means it. This dude will call me and just ask me, "How you doing?" And he truly means, how are you doing? Not that bullshit, "How are you today?" You know what I mean? He actually means it when he asks those questions. So if you guys need help with mental health, you guys just want an outlet to come hang out and have like-minded people, whether you're military or whatever, get a hold of FW22. And I will keep you guys updated on the events that are going to be coming up with the ride. I'm super excited for my motorcycle guys listening. The ride this year, last year we had like 60, 70 bikes. I planned it horribly. I spelt words wrong on shirts.
Yeah, that was wild.
And that was really expensive. So
it was a great turnout, though.
It was a good turnout.
That's why I'm putting expectations. Yeah. Because I'm like, now I know what you're capable of. Yeah. I'm going to make sure I get it.
Oh, once we get the details out, I'm going to promote.
Good. I'm excited.
It'll be good. But guys, thanks for listening to Full Throttle Chronicles. Next week, who do I have coming to next week? You're going to get surprised. I got two. Actually, I'm going to start. I got to record, so I'm not sure which one I'm going to put out yet. But thanks for listening, guys. Got any words for the people?
If you want to volunteer, we could use all the help. We are busy, so.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, pretty much any event, you got a ton of volunteers.
Yeah, if you're a business owner locally and you need community service hours, I run mental health and veteran court. I got lots of vets that need community service hours, so.
Yeah, yep. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you next week.